Hello Battlecats players, my name is Chance and welcome to my guide. Today we're going to be looking at a very interesting cat. Not really interesting in terms of mechanics, granted, but certainly interesting in terms of the place it has within the Battlecats community. Today we're going to be taking a look at unit ID number 19, Zombie Cat. This special cat can be purchased for 120 cat food after completing Madagascar in Empire of Cats Chapter 1. And damn is he a good looking cat. Funny enough, his appearance is a large reason why he has kind of a weird reputation within the community. But we will of course talk about that in a little bit here. It is my hope that by the end of this video, you will have a thorough grasp on really all there is to know about Zombie Cat. This includes his evolutionary line, his pros and cons, his best use cases and strategy, his cat combos, and of course his talents as well. So that when it comes time for you to invest into him, you can make your own informed decision. Firstly, let's dive right into his evolutions. To start off with, Zombie Cat's description reads, studies at a certain film academy, majors in special effects and makeup, strong against red enemies. Then after achieving level 10, he will evolve into Devil Cat, whose description reads, got an A in makeup class with this, argues that he does better than Fish Cat, strong against red enemies. Then after achieving level 20 and completing the Zombie Awakens level, he evolves into Skelecat, whose description reads, even a rusty nail can't stop the love in his heart from beating, more versatile than Fish Cat, strong against red/zombies with area attacks. As far as the Zombie Awakens level is concerned, it is made up of 2 stages, both called Shambling Around, both costing 150 energy, but the second will be more difficult than the first. There's a chance to unlock the Awaken form on the first stage, but you are guaranteed it on the second. It is available the 9th day in any month from 700 hours to 1400 hours or 7 AM to 2 PM, and the 10th day in any month from 1700 hours to 0 hours or 5 PM to midnight. Now that you have a good grasp on his evolution, let's take a look at his performance overview. First and foremost, his class is considered to be a melee unit and a combo slave. Melee units are any unit with a range of 1 to 249, and combo slaves are units that are essentially useless with the exception of their cat combos. Under pros, he has a short cooldown, good cat combos, and area attack in his true form, and under cons, low health, low movement speed, and short attack range. Under other considerations, strong against red enemies, which means he takes half damage and deals 1.5 damage. Strong against zombie enemies in his true form, which means the same but in relation to zombies as opposed to reds, and Zombie Killer in his true form as well. Zombie Killer, in case you're not too familiar with it, means that if Skelecat strikes the last blow against a zombie enemy, it will not resurrect, which is actually kind of sweet and useful in most cases. However, looking at this list, I'm sure you can figure out the inherent downside of Zombie, mainly that his cons are kind of damnable. Low health, low movement speed, and short attack range means odds are he'll never really get a chance to attack, which make him essentially useless. Now that you're aware of his pros and cons and where he lines up in terms of performance, let's watch some gameplay and discuss some practical uses for this cat and just how to best approach him overall. As far as overall mechanical design is concerned, he's designed to be like a Fish Cat light, essentially. So he's cheaper and has faster recharging, but he's also a lot weaker, so whether or not that's true kind of depends on how you interpret the term. And it is worth noting that as soon as you unlock him, or as soon as you gain the ability to unlock him, he is useful against a lot of those early game red enemies. However, the second you leave Empire of Cats, he becomes almost irrelevant from a unit perspective. His stats just don't really keep up with anyone, and unfortunately there are better units that are able to do what he can do directly. So because of that, it's not usually worth using him as a unit. However, his cat combos are pretty good, 2 of them in particular, that being Biohazard and Horror Movies. We'll talk about these a little bit more later on, but all you need to know is they can drastically change gameplay and trivialize a few stages. Now, what about when you true form him? Surely he's useful then. Well, no, not really. At this point in the game, his stats just haven't really kept up with anyone, and because of that, he's in a weird soft lock position. It is worth mentioning, however, he gains access to the Bony Bone combo after true forming him. And Bony Bone, when combined with Biohazard, is probably one of my favorite cat combo stacking possibilities in the game. Once again, we will talk about both of these combos in detail soon, but these cat combos, if stacked and used together properly, can make grinding so much faster. And seeing as how so much of the mid and end game is based around grinding, it goes a long way towards helping the overall cause. And I mean, who knows, maybe his talents will save him. We'll talk about that in a little bit too. Before we move any further, let's talk about his cat combos. First, we have Death Rock. This is a cat cannon start level up of the small variety, and it involves Zombie Cat and Rocker Cat. What this means is that when you start the stage, your cannon will start approximately 20% of the way charged. I consider this to be largely useless. There are a couple rush stages where I suppose this can make sense, but it's definitely not the majority, and there are other ways of solving those stages as well, so not that useful. Next, we have Biohazard. This is a research power-up involving Zombie Cat and Mister. This essentially reduces cat recharge times by about a second, making your units far more spammable. Of course, worth noting that you can't go beneath 2 seconds per cat spam, so just do bear that in mind, but overall quite useful. Up next we have Bony Bone, which is another research power-up involving Necromancer Cat and Skelecat, and reduces, of course, recharge time by about a second. You can see if stacking Biohazard and Bony Bone, that's just under 2 seconds worth of time save on your unit recharge time, which allows you to use higher tier units but still keep them equally spammable. Really, it is quite useful. Up next we have Horror Movies, which is a resistant effect up of the medium variety, and it increases the effectiveness of the resistant trait, assuming the cat has it, by 20%. This trait is used fairly interchangeably with Tough, and makes it so units only take a quarter of the damage from the specified enemy type, or 1/5 of the damage if you have the fruit treasures corresponding to it. This cat combo involves Zombie Cat, Vengeful Cat, and Sadako Cat. And lastly, we have Struck by Lightning. This is a massive damage effect up of the small variety. It involves Thundea and Skelecat, and increases the effectiveness of massive damage by 10%. Massive damage, in case you're not familiar, allows units to do ×3 damage against a specified enemy type, or ×4 if you have the corresponding fruit treasures. Now that we're done with the cat combo, I'm just going to flash a couple graphs relating to Zombie Cat's stats, and while I'm doing that, while there is no trivia available, I do just want to point out how awesome this unit looks. One of the biggest traps with this unit is you look at him, he looks strong, his description reads as being better than Fish Cat, which is pretty strong at this point in the game, so all the noobs tend to go with him, despite the fact that he's really not that great at all. Ponos really outdid themselves with this design and animation, and it really is a step above a lot of the other special cats, so it's just interesting to point out. As far as channel health is concerned, I've decided against posting all the Japanese content. Instead, what I'm likely to do is make a separate channel dedicated towards it, and let it play out there. Of course, I will still be addressing the Japanese exclusive units on this channel, but that's really just to say I covered all the cats and just move on from it like that. A lot of them, there's not too much to talk about anyways, so I expect the videos to be fairly short in length. And there are a lot of English speakers who play the Japanese version of the game, just to take advantage of all the additional units and stages and events that take place on the Japanese version. So I think including the cats might not be a bad idea. I've also been making some changes to the thumbnails. I might adjust them further based on reception, and likely on the 1st of next month I'll do like an analytic channel overview just to show the Battle Cats creators who watch my videos how I'm performing overall, and maybe they can learn something from it. Regardless, I'm still going to keep producing these videos at the pace I'm producing them at, so like and subscribe if that's cool with you. Now that you've had a chance to look over all the stats, let's talk about talents. Firstly, Skelecat gains access to the Weaken trait, which adds a 40% chance to weaken enemies to 50% for about 1.3 seconds, and this improves by 0.3 seconds up to a total of 4 seconds for a total NP cost of 165. Up next, he gets access to Resist Slow. This reduces slow duration by 16% and improves by 6% per level up to 70%, and costs a total of 125 NP. Next, we have Recover Speed, which reduces recharge time by about half a second and improves by 0.17 seconds per level up to 2 seconds total, for a overall NP cost of 125. And then he has access to the standard defense and attack buff, which increase the respective traits by 8% per level up to 80%, for a total cost of 125 NP each. Personally, I don't recommend spending any NP on this unit whatsoever. At this point in the game, his stats are going to be too abysmal to really reap any of these benefits, and you're better off just using him as a combo slave and not really ever spamming him. It is sad, and the odds of this cat ever getting changed or adjusted to better suit the meta is basically 0. The reason I'm hopeful for a lot of other special cats but not Zombie Cat is a lot of special cats don't have any talents yet, so there's still hope for them to be adjusted and tweaked to be viable. But Zombie Cat already has his talents, and funny enough, much like the name, he's dead already. Dead on arrival even. He is outclassed by Island Cat, Brainwashed Fish Cat, Maniac Island Cat, really all of the things that his description says he's better than. Funny enough, there's just not really a viable use case for this cat outside of a combo slave and a very early unit against red enemies. But maybe I'm wrong. Let me know what you think down beneath in the comments section and just explain why. I am open to having my mind change on all of these cats, but this one, once again, I feel is fairly certainly relegated to just combo slave. And that's really all there is to say about Zombie Cat as far as I can tell. Thank you so much for everyone who's watched until this point. I certainly appreciate all of you. I really am thankful for this channel's current growth, and I'm excited to see where it's all going. Of course, if you have any questions at all, feel free to let me know about them down in the comments, and offer any criticism you can as to how to improve these videos and this channel as a whole. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe for Cat God's blessing in your next gacha roll, and as always, I'll talk to you next time.